What is up, everybody? Brett here, super stoked today to be bringing you news that we've all been waiting for so dang long. Our very first introduction to the new Total War Warhammer 3 race, Gran Cathay. So, Gran Cathay, God, we could go so deep into it. It's a concept that's been around for a long time. I think since 2nd edition Warhammer. It's never been flushed out in the way that CA has decided to tackle it and flush it out. We're going to read some of the FAQ, get all the information that we can glean from that. We're going to go into the video, watch that, maybe pause it a little bit here and there. I'm sure by now most of you who are diehard fans have already seen the video and are eagerly awaiting it. I'm so stoked, like I'm like very aware of how big my tongue is right now and it's like swelling in my mouth. Don't ever do that. Because it's making it hard to talk. I'm so excited. Guys, what is Gran Cathay? Gran Cathay is the largest nation in the Warhammer world, far beyond the mountains to the east, past the lands of the dwarves, the snowfields of Kislev, and even beyond the ogre kingdoms lies this incredibly ancient and powerful land, overseen by the celestial dragon emperor and his wife, the moon empress, and ruled by their children. It is a mysterious land of incredible military might. Massive terracotta statues come to life to defend the great bastion against the floods of chaos that come to Gran Cathay's doors. Dragon-blooded sorcerers wield the magic lures of yin and yang in harmony to blast enemies from the battlefield. Powerful artillery and well-drilled troops, numbering in the thousands, slay any enemy that dares take one too many steps. I'm glad we read that because I've watched the trailer before, and some of the stuff that I saw didn't quite make a lot of sense, but now it does. So obviously, guys, Gran Cathay, Cathay being basically another antiquated term for China. I don't know if people still use this in parts of the world. But it's China. It's Warhammer China. The Great Bastion is a pretty transparent Great Wall. They literally have a Dragon Emperor and a Moon Empress. But this is a very cool take. The fact that they're not going... The Dragon Emperor and the Moon Empress are the head of the faction, unequivocally. But they're so powerful, so ancient, it kind of makes sense that they're almost not the ones that you get to play as. Instead, it says you get to play as their children, the ones who rule the actual day-to-day life of the Cathayans. Very cool. And of course, terracotta statues, all that stuff. I am flipping stoked, y'all. We're going to watch this trailer in just a second, 3 minutes long. But there's just a little bit to read here. I'm going to read a little bit more and then we're going to jump into the trailer, okay? So, whoa, y'all just came up with this? Well, not quite. Gran Cathay was first mentioned in, okay, it says it right here, in the 2nd edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battles and made sporadic background appearances throughout its history. It's always been kind of just this backdrop, right? Never really fleshed out. Games Workshop has created and reimagined all of those fleeting references into a full army, and we've put that army along with their empire into Total War Warhammer 3. This includes their own characters, units, magic, history, and much more. Much like Kislev, it's been an exciting and collaborative process with Games Workshop, and they will have several bits of news and information on their community site too. Which, let me click on that real quick. You can see here I've got some tabs pulled up for some different stuff for us to look at. Yeah, I've already got this one pulled up. Awesome. Okay. Because there's tons of additional information and visuals for us to go and look at. And I want to make sure we see most of what we can. Unfortunately, once again, I did not get the press kit for this. I think there are some images and things that other people have access to that I don't. But we'll just have to bear with it. I mean, we have the trailer. That's all we really need in the end. And yeah, I mean, let's read first, because you guys probably already seen the trailer 2 or 3 times if you're like me. Let's just read over the FAQ, and then when we watch the trailer together, everything will have more context and it'll make a lot more sense. So who are Gran Cathay's legendary lords? Their playable legendary lords are Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon. We haven't seen him yet. I think I saw a picture of him on someone else's YouTube stuff, but like I haven't been able to find that picture. But he looks like a badass. He's the ruler of the western provinces. He's kind of Guan Yu looking, and Lord of Shangyang and Miao Ying, rather. I'm not going to be able to pronounce these names perfectly until I hear them said a bunch. The Storm Dragon, ruler of the northern provinces and commander of the Great Bastion. She's also the Black Dragon featured in the trailer. So, yeah, she's featured. It says it right here, of course. Every time I go to add new information, it's just right there. It's featured in the trailer above, while you'll get your first glimpse of Zhao Ming next week. In addition, we'll have much more information about both as we continue to introduce this mighty nation and its heroes to the world. Hold on, dragons? The rulers of Cathay are immortal dragons who can take human form. As well as being extremely cool, this makes them incredibly powerful combatants, amazing sorcerers, and natural leaders. We'll dedicate a bit of time to that topic soon. And you'll see there, pretty cool art. Alright, but what about the Celestial Dragon Emperor and his wife, the Moon Empress? Fair question. Yes, the Celestial Dragon Emperor still rules over Gran Cathay. He spends his time in the Celestial City above Wei Jin, contemplating the destiny of the Empire with his wife, the equally revered Moon Empress. They are the true power couple of the Warhammer world, older than most of the gods, for they existed when the planet was colder, even before the old ones came and pulled it closer to the sun. How sweet is that? As they rarely leave the Celestial Court, and their power level is frankly on par with most gods, we knew they were not the right candidates to be Cathay's legendary lords. That makes sense, guys. Just from a playable perspective, it makes sense. Mazdamundi, you could almost stick on that level too. And much the same way, you're not actually playing and deploying Khorne or Nurgle to the battlefield. Instead, their children provide a much more interesting prospect for the game. They are still extremely powerful characters with compelling family dynamics. Spoiler, the siblings don't get on. But with all the responsibilities of ruling and protecting great swaths of Cathay. I like it. I like it. My initial reaction to the trailer was like, who is this lady? Like, I didn't know who she was. And I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, they made up a character, this is terrible. I want to wait and see. Like, Salastra Deerfin was a made-up character. And at the end of the day, guys, they're all made-up characters, let's be real. But she was a new creation, let's say, and with no pre-existing lore. And maybe there were other characters who could have been in the game, who have existing lore, and people were kind of upset about that. These two brother and sisters, I don't think there's any lore on them, but maybe there is. And I don't know, the reasoning here makes sense. I'm not bummed. I think as long as you make them cool, as long as you make them interesting, as long as you give them the lore they need in order to be interesting and cool, then we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, I don't hate it at all. How does Gran Cathay play? As an empire, a people, and on the battlefield, Gran Cathay is about harmony. They are a defensively focused army, long-standing against the tides of darkness that crash against their great bastion, over and over again across the centuries. Ranged and melee units receive buffs when in close proximity. Their power boosted as the yin and yang that runs through every inhabitant of the empire works in concert. This gives them incredible ranged firepower and a stalwart, hardy front line. They are slow-moving and easy to flank, but their flying machines, alchemists, and dragon sorcerers do much to make the army a formidable one. And we'll see tons of different types of units in the trailer as we watch it. On the campaign map, Gran Cathay must use the incredible wealth of the Ivory Road to fund their war effort and defense of the Great Bastion, the invincible walled fortress that borders the Chaos Waste to their north. Defending it and launching assaults from it is a key part of their campaign and will make or break the fates of mortals. Naturally, we'll have more information, a roster reveal, unit highlights, spotlights, and much more in the coming weeks. What can I expect unit-wise? And then once again, a very cool image for us to look at here. We've got crossbow variants, varying halberd-type weaponry, swords, shields, all looking very sick. Dragon motifs, gold armor, very much present. Unit-wise, melee infantry mostly wield spears and halberds, all the better to protect their ranged troops that form the most powerful force Gran Cathay has to offer. They also favor spellcasters, with alchemists and astromancers having equal levels of power on the battlefield. They employ a number of flying units and can call upon the power of the Terracotta Sentinels if the situation warrants it. To back up their elite crossbowmen, artillery pieces and war machines bring destruction to the battlefield. We've seen in the trailer, once again, those who haven't seen it, apologies, but the Terracotta Sentinels are these basically giants. I was curious whether or not they would make a smaller, more unit-focused Terracotta variant. I don't know how they would function. They would be almost like, I would think of them almost like flagellants, right? Like an unbreakable, but kind of glass cannony type of unit that's just meant to sit in front and take damage, absorb damage. I'm not sure if they have anything like that planned. Gran Cathay is also one of the most populous nations in the old world, formed as it is from hundreds of tribes that gathered under the Celestial Dragon Emperor in years gone by. Thus it has legions to call upon when needed, with the less trained forming a fragile but effective front line, wielding weapons and riding horses as required. Though they are cheaper troops, their power level can far outstrip their cost when used in proper harmony, which has got to be the name of the mechanic for units getting buffs when they're next to each other. Of course, there are still many surprises to be found in this ancient land, and we'll have the full roster reveal for you over the course of the next couple weeks. I haven't seen anything about like Jade Vampires or the Monkey King or any of the more mystical elements. Well, that's all very exciting, but it's September, and I want to know about the future of sieges and minor settlement battles. Understandable. I was about to say that. As we go into details of the unique defenses of the Great Bastion that Gran Cathay can take part in, we'll also explain how sieges play in Warhammer 3. Beyond that, well, you can probably guess from the trailer who gets the highlight once Gran Cathay have had their moment in the sun. Yeah, it's going to be Tzeentch. Welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3. Gran Cathay is here, and they will stop at nothing to destroy the forces of Qianqi and protect their empire. Qianqi, I think, is what they call, isn't that what they call Tzeentch in their language? I'm not sure. Maybe this is actually the name of the Changer of Ways that we see in the trailer. We'll continue in earnest next week with a look at the lands, lore, and history of the mighty Eastern Empire. So, guys, I'm not the most knowledgeable source if you want to go to for all the lore and Total Warhammer. I'm just a guy who gets hyped and loves to play the games and read all after the fact. But let's watch the trailer together. I'll shut up, and, well, I'll mostly shut up. I'll talk a little bit. And, yeah, we'll watch it together. It's got subtitles on, too, so.
From the stars came the will to shape.
It's all about looking in the background.
Hurling this world toward ruin.
I saw low-tier archers and spearmen running in the background. We've got our Kirin warriors here. Beautiful city. We see some more elite troops. Looks like crossbowmen and halberds. Some sort of flame cannon mortar type unit. There's the terracotta sentinel. Those dudes look awesome. All of them. We see some hero units there. Probably an alchemist. We've got flying stuff here. Different colors. We got green and blue and yellow. Probably 3 different types. One I think is like a rifle platform. One I think shoots maybe some missiles, more of an artillery focused.
Sacrifice.
And I see the subtitles aren't working on here. They were working earlier on YouTube. Apologies. Hell yeah. The Tzeentch units look amazing. You see those flying like manta looking things with the Chaos Warriors on their back? And of course you got the Marty McFly hoverboards. I'm not sure what you call those, the flying demons. They look like big gargoyles. I don't know what those guys' names are. Let me know in the comments if you know. But you'll see them shooting their rifles off the back of those things. Little mini Zeppelins. Very cool design. And here we go. You can see there was some spawn in the back there. We see some Forsaken. The little mini minion looking guys. Here we go. Here we go. Let them have it. Hell yeah. There's the harmony. That's the harmony we're looking for. Hell yeah. And I think this is like maybe yin and yang, or like magic types that they have. And they reference it so much. We haven't really seen that sort of thing before. And unfortunately, the Changer of Ways, we've seen those, the models before. And I'm glossing over her, but she is awesome. I want to wait to see the brother to see who I'm more excited to play as. Hell yeah, they didn't know who they were messing with. What a sick trailer. I love it. The music's good, the visuals are good, it's all very well tied together. The voice acting, of course, is top notch as usual. I'm so trained to look for Skaven related things at the end of trailers now. It's unbelievable. Alright, but we'll pause that up. We've read all this. There's so much to glean. You're welcome to go and watch the trailer yourself, pause as you go. But we see all these different types of infantry. We don't know the names yet, what they'll be called, but we can guess. Varying degrees of, effectiveness based on, how awesome their armor looks, right? Their armor's all gold and dragoned out. You have to imagine those dudes are like the Palace Guard or some something similarly cool. So let's go to this Warhammer community page where they have additional information, additional pictures, and things we can look at. I haven't read this yet, so let's just see if there's any additional information that we can glean. One of the 6 main factions. Yep. Miao Ying. I'm going to say it like Yao Ming on accident. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, some cool pictures of what she looks like, how they decided to deck her out, how they did her hair. Dragon hair is very important. Let's see. Yeah, some, more cool artwork. Terracotta Sentinel, you get a little more artwork there, a little more up close and personal. And it says you might be able to make out the Alchemist and the Astromancer. I saw them in the trailer. They're the ones that are like standing on the balcony talking to each other. I'd put money on that. As well as far stranger units. See, this is what I love. This is what I want. This is what I came here for. Give me the hints, baby. Far stranger units. We'll let the eagle-eyed among you try and work out what those other units might be. What's in this picture? Yeah, this is these two, the alchemist and them sitting there and attempting to, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where my brain was going with that. But we see them. There they are. Eagle-eyed. What? I mean, I've already listed some of the things they could have, but I'm sure there's got to be more things that we haven't even thought of yet, perhaps. Very cool unit models. They look very tough. And then, yeah, the odd Hobgoblin Con. Glad to see them referenced. Maybe they'll make it in somehow. I'm sure that in their starting position, they'll have to contend with ogres and like some sort of like goblin themed. I don't think they'll just stick greenskins there. I don't think you'll be fighting black orcs and stuff. I think they'll make some sort of all goblin roster or some sort of all goblin faction that they fight that just like really loves to recruit that stuff. There is, God, now that they got me on the Easter egg hunt, I just want to look at everything and try to find everything. I haven't seen this yet either. This video here. If it's not too long, maybe it's something we can watch together as well. I'm just scanning for you guys. Okay. Maybe there's some. Let me go on Epic Game Store. Maybe there's some visuals here. Let's continue. I don't want to play that. Thank you. But maybe there are some pictures here that we could look at that they don't have in other places. That's a big nope, good buddy. All right, let's check this out real quick. It's 3 minutes. Sure, we got that good quality.
In Warhammer, as long as there's been Warhammer, the very first edition of the game, going back to the 1984, something like that, 83, 84, mentions Cathay in a very loose form. In fact, all of the familiar nations of the Warhammer world were mentioned in only very passing sort of way in those early editions.
That's why it's so awesome they're going back and doing this.
Actually working on Cathay with Creative Assembly, we went back to those early mentions. We picked out those little Easter eggs that had been left for us by previous generations of writers, and we expanded and extrapolated them and came
all
up
the
with
designs that I'm seeing are beautiful.
Faction, a complete nation.
I mean, we got together as a team. So the first thing is we sit in a room, we discuss what is Cathay. This is a new design, a new army. Where do we start? We start from
I don't want to skip anything, guys, because they might show
some, so our rules writers will
images that we want to see.
We'll come up with history, we'll play with ideas. We'll also have a discussion with Creative Assembly, because they have their own ideas and opinions, and we're sort of like mediating it and helping control.
I'd love to be in the room to see how they talk to each other and how they decide what to do.
Old World is it's sort of on a basis on historical real armies. So our first port of call would look at ancient Chinese armies, look how they're built up, look at the designs, look at the way they're armoured, the way their units fought, And that's a good starting point as a foundation for designing an army.
And they just made 3 kingdoms, so they had all that basis there. All that knowledge was already here.
Who are the characters that you see on the tabletop? Who are the soldiers? How and why do they fight? But also the top level, the top down. What's the big history of Cathay? Who are the Dragon Emperors? Why are they dragons?
We needed the look of the army to be a hierarchy of dragons that controlled this army. We knew that the leaders and the Emperor and the Empress were both dragon forms. They were first dragons. This is not a dragon that has a rider on the back. They would never imagine that. They are the leaders, but they also can take human form to interact with their own people. And so we wanted the hierarchy to be a dragon-ruled cities. From there, we sort of worked and said, okay, you would have a similar to an empire where you'd have militia and peasant factors. You want that in there as well to give you a feel of the human level.
Right.
It feels like this
That's
army
to
is
me
going
always
to have a
what's
bit
the
of
most
everything.
interesting.
It feels like it's going to have some great magic.
Whoa,
It's
whoa,
going to
whoa,
have
whoa.
serried
Whoa,
ranks
whoa, whoa.
of disciplined warriors. It's going to have war machines. It's going to have magicians. It's going to have flying things and cavalry. The secret to this army is in the way all of these disparate unit types work together. But the overall theme is disciplined ranks of very skilled soldiers, high magic, all of that sort of thing is there. But the way they balance off against each other is key. Using them
Reddit
together
might help us
in
find
a balanced way is key.
the Easter eggs that I missed. Alright, hopefully you don't go deaf from that. That was kind of loud. But nice. I'm glad to have that. Thank you, CA, for even putting that out. That's very cool. And thanks to the designers always for doing a good job. Don't ever really want to gloss over the hard work of other people. Especially, I'm not capable of doing that either. Is that my boy Kairos? Yeah, so Kairos, is it Kairos Fate Weaver? Is that the guy's full name? It's pretty sick. I just want to see what people on Reddit are saying. And the thread that's about the trailer. They might have some insight. They might have caught some things that we wouldn't see. And apologies to any nonsense that you may read. Ink strokes looks amazing. Yin and Yang. Yep. Sounds pretty exciting to me. That was my thought as well. Fancy version of Gork and Mork. Or Mork and Gork. Yeah, it could be Mork, could be Gork. That's awesome though. Yeah, it instantly made me think of earth and metal bending as well from Avatar. That's exactly what I thought. Also, I was watching it with my lady, and she was like, "Are they metal bending?" I was like, "Yes, they are." Flying Zeech warriors on pancake frisbees, Cathay discount thunder barges with rockets, Avatar earthbender, Queen with Fursona. What more could you want? I agree. Scale Sona. There we go. The Scalies have overcome. 100% science-based dragon RTS. I love it. Dragon waifu. Terracotta warriors, Kirin riders. Absolutely. Just a lot of people sharing in the hype. Discs of Zeech. Janky? Yes. Awesome? Also yes. Yeah, that aerial battle was sick. People arguing over which of the trailers was the most awesome. I was hoping someone would have some zoomed in pics of some new stuff that I didn't see. There was also kind of a cool little mini story in there where like one of the hero units was talking to one of the women who went up on the flying barges. They got shot down, and then when it got shot down, it fell like right in front of her. So that was kind of a cool little like, I don't know, like a story within a story. Something that can kind of draw you in. Okay. Let's go see if there's any new threads where maybe people have some other additional secret stuff that they've zoomed in. Yeah, no advertising, please. Let's see. News every week. Yeah, potentially. You can probably expect at least one piece of news every week, sometimes more. Sounds good to me. And then here we have these extra pictures that I was talking about that I didn't have access to. I don't know where these came from. But let's pull them up and see what the hell's going on. We've got dudes that seem to be whoa, that's not what I meant to say. Functioning. you got to pronounce all the words. Functioning, all the syllables, like the Jezzails from the Skaven. So you can see kind of like they got shields with long rifles posted on top. We've got the terracotta soldiers. You've got one of the variants, I think there's probably 3 of the flying units. You've got the Kirans, who look sick. What else? Obviously, we've got infantry, several different types of infantry, and then whatever the heck this thing is. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a giant, could be like a jade ball or a ball filled with some sort of magic. Let's see, can you zoom? Yeah, I mean, I can zoom in. I don't know how much effectiveness that gives us, but it looks pretty sweet. It could be some sort of artillery piece. Could be something that functions more like a Bretonnian. My brain's going blank, guys. I'm trying to think of too many nerd things at the same time. You guys know what I'm talking about. It could function like a Mortis engine. It could function like the Bretonnian, the dead guy on the horse that gives like a leadership buff and an AoE. Who knows? I don't know what this does. It's pretty cool looking though. And then I think that's it for this side. And then we've got the flying demons on the other side. We've got the chaos spawn here as well. We've got the what are these pink guys called? I never remember. I'm not too good with the Tzeentch units' names, so please forgive me. I don't know most of them. Like, I see these kind of spectral looking dudes, and I also see, if we zoom in here, that appears to be, I don't know if that's a hero unit. It might be the legendary lord that they're going to reveal. He's got this white cape on and kind of gold looking armor, and he's rushing in. And there's another unit here who's more human looking. He's got like a blue sword with a staff, and he's about to get stepped on by the terracotta warrior, but he can't really see much else. It looks like there might also be some cav action happening on the flanks out here. But yeah, you got these flying looking spirit creatures. These dudes, I know them in Warhammer 40k. They spit like pink fire. I forget what they call them. And then you got all these tons of these little like Ghostbuster looking dudes. Let's see what else. And then as we zoom in here, let's take a look at this one. Maybe we can see some even cooler stuff going on. I see different types of Forsaken. Looks like maybe these look like aspiring champions or chosen of some type. I'm looking in the backgrounds. Oh, there they are in the back. What are these guys called again? God dog it. Forgive me, guys. I just cannot remember the names of some of this stuff. But I see multiple very cool units in the background. I'm hoping you can see them as well. I don't know what size screen you're watching on. But if you're watching me do this, you can probably go and find this same stuff yourself. But these mechanical demonic units, they've got 2 of them in the background here. And then off to the side here, some sort of perhaps cool looking infantry. It's hard to tell. Some of these guys look really basic and others look really cool. And then, of course, front and center, you got the dragon. The dragon is so front and center, it's almost not even worth talking about. But the model looks great. And then this, I do believe, is the brother in his dragon form. And if we go down here, you could see some of these demons again, the mechanical demons. And he's roasting the hell out of these flying demons. Is there anything else? I don't see anything. But very cool. Yeah, going to Reddit, totally worth looking at. Soul Grinder. Yep, Soul Grinder. There we go. That's what they're called. Got it. And then anything else? Yeah, Flamers. Blue and pink horrors, Tzeentch Forsaken, and Tzeentch Warriors. There we go. Thank you, Reddit. And Chinese Jezzails. Yeah, I mean, that's what they look like to me. Yep, I think also the dragon that we see is the second legendary lord as well. I do believe so. But guys, I don't know what else to say. I think we've covered all the information that I have access to. I hope you guys enjoyed getting the trailer, reading the news, getting the hype, and look forward. The other big announcement that's worth talking about is the fact that the development of the game has been pushed back, and the release of the game, I shouldn't say the development, the release of the game has been pushed back, probably due to certain development issues or, even improvements that they want to make to the coming year. So a lot of people speculated we would get the game in November. Then it was kind of like, we'll get it in Christmas. And now it's going to be next year. So I'm not that bummed out. Obviously, I want to get my hands on the game as soon as possible, but I also want the game to be in as good of a state as it possibly can be. Let's not have a botched launch. That would be awful. The subject matter is so cool, it deserves the highest attention, and I'm sure CA will give it just that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Brett. Channel's Goodtalk Gaming. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff helps me out. If I messed up anything in this video, it's my first impressions. Hopefully you don't nerd rage out on me. I'd appreciate a little forgiveness here. And just let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed that you saw. Let me know what it was. If I misnamed something, let me know that too. That way I can find like a resource to look up stuff better. I was trying to find like a good Tzeentch army roster earlier, and I couldn't really find one. That was at least simple, easy to go through and look at like a picture and then the description and all that. But if you got a link for something like that, I'd love to read it because I'd love to get caught up on the Tzeentch units. Yeah, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, y'all.